Good evening. Would you please stand for the Gramps Fire Department presentation of the flag?
Detail, present, arms.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms.
You may be seated. The Gramps Fire Department Chaplain, Bill Vanderbilt, will give an invocation.
Tonight we're going to take the opportunity to honor those who have been part of life-saving efforts, for distinguished awards for those retirees. In 1958, Wichita, Kansas firefighter Alvin William Lynn responded to an apartment fire with a report of children trapped inside. His crew was unable to rescue them in time to iron bars on the windows. Asking himself, what if that were my children? Following that, he put pen to paper and wrote the firefighter's prayer. This prayer has and continues to guide each firefighter in their desire to serve their community. Please join me in the firefighter's prayer. When I am called to duty, wherever flames may rage, give me the strength to save a life, whatever be its age. Help me to embrace a little child before it is too late, or save an older person from the honor of that fate. Enable me to be alert and hear the weakest shout, and quickly and efficiently to put the fire out. I want to fill my calling and to give the best in me. to guide my every neighbor and protect their property. And if according to God's will, I must answer death's call, bless with your protecting hand my family, one and all. Amen.
Thank you, Chapter Vanderbilt. Tonight, we gather to celebrate and acknowledge our department. We're here to recognize the hard work, the dedication, and the perseverance of the men and women of the Grand Rapids Fire Department. This time, I'd like to introduce our distinguished guest here, sitting from your left to right, City Manager Greg Sundstrom, City Fire Chief John Lehman, Deputy City Manager Eric DeLong, Acting Deputy Chief Ron Tennant, Deputy Chief Peg Felix, EMS Captain Mark Finkhauser, and Bill Vanderven, our chaplain. I'd also like to introduce the awards committee tonight. Tonight wouldn't be possible without the efforts of our awards team. They put in many hours on and off duty to put the ceremony together tonight. So please stand if you would when I call your name. Captain David Norman, he's not here tonight, he's out at the National Fire Academy, so he couldn't be here, of course, tonight. Firefighter Jeff Lysick. Lieutenant Bill Smith. Firefighter John Keeler. Equipment Operator Cord Canoodle. Equipment Operator Jeff Vanderwall. Thank you, guys. I'd also like to thank the chief. All the chiefs have been here 4 months. He's made a huge impact on our department. I appreciate his support in tonight's award program, so thank you, Chief. This time I'd like to have City Manager Greg Sundstrom come to speak a couple words. Thank you.
Well, hello, good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to share regrets from both Mayor Bliss, who is out of town, and Commissioner Kelly. Commissioner Kelly, I don't think has missed one of these since she's been a commissioner, but I don't know if y'all heard. She had a trip and fall accident, broke both ankles. Can you believe that? So she is struggling along. She was at city commission meetings on one of those things you kneel on and push around. She wasn't complaining, but she didn't think she could navigate the parking ramp to over here. So at any rate, with that, I'd like to welcome you all of the men and women of the Grand Rapids Fire Department, to the spouses of and families of our firefighters, and to our distinguished guests attending this wonderful event. Last week, I received a letter from ISO notifying the city that our new ISO public protection classification would be a 2. Now, this is very good. This is the highest ranking of ISO of any city in the state of Michigan. ISO is a supplier of data and analytics for property and casualty insurance industry. Recall that this rating is for the city's fire protection purposes. We do a good job. Criteria evaluated for this included fire dispatch, fire suppression, and water supply. It's comforting to know that the city's fire service is ranked among the very best in the nation, both by ISO and by our own accreditation. We are all proud of the service provided by the men and women of the Grand Rapids Fire Department. You are among the top 2% of all departments in the country, and you make us all proud. Congratulations to everyone receiving an award this evening. To be recognized as among the best in one of the best departments in the country is truly outstanding. GRFD has a long tradition of excellence, and this evening is simply a recognition that this excellence continues. Before I close, I would also like to give my personal thanks to Chief Lehman, who I think is doing a wonderful job, at least from where I sit. And from those of you who have had an opportunity to share with me your thoughts about that, Chief, most of them are very positive. So I want to thank you, Chief. But remember, as you're praising the Chief, I'm the guy that hired him, okay? That's all. At any rate, on a personal note, I would like to recognize the difficult work that you perform every day. I pray that you will continue to be safe. And finally, I thank you for your public service and for your commitment to the citizens of this great city of Grand Rapids. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sundstrom. Next, I'm honored to introduce our Fire Chief, John Lehman.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you this evening, and what a great show up we have here. What a great turnout we have. But also, it's a good setup for me. Being 4 months on the job, having my boss and a couple of my bosses here to talk about all the great things that are going on in the Grand Rapids Fire Department and all the great things that the men and women of the Grand Rapids Fire Department have done. It does nothing but set us up for more success in the future. And I'm anxious for him to hear all the good deeds that have been done out there. So I would like to talk to how proud a day this is for everybody. And it shows in the pride that's instilled in the men and women of the Grand Rapids Fire Department that are here standing tall in their uniforms today. It shows in the families that are here to represent and to support them. It shows in the honor guard and the professionalism that we bestow on nights like this. And so I just want to tell you that as a person here that has only been here for 4 months, that I am very proud to be here leading this organization. I think that we have such a quality group of men and women, and that an event like this, celebrated, is something that we all should be proud of. So thank you for doing that. I would also like to say thank you to the awards committee. It should be very humbling to those that are being honored tonight, that they are being honored by their peers. That you have a committee of your peers that are here to acknowledge your good deeds, to talk about those things that you did that maybe rose above and beyond what we consider the call of duty, and to recognize you for those. And so that is something that is very humbling, but at the same time, you should be very proud of that. We're recognizing promotees tonight. We're recognizing people that were promoted in the last year. We're recognizing people for their years of service. And we thank you for your dedicated years of service to the organization and to the city of Grand Rapids. We're thanking our Firefighter of the Year, Steve McBride, and we're recognizing and congratulating him on that accomplishment. We're recognizing Lieutenant Elmore and the fact that he's receiving a medal of commendation for his actions on behalf of the city of Grand Rapids, the fire department, and the recognition level that he has almost on a national level right now for what he's doing with the Fire Match program. We're looking at the achievement medals, and we know that when we look at these achievement medals, we have areas here where we are recognizing some staff members, some 40-hour personnel, but the fact is that we are here solely to support those line personnel out there in the field, to be able to do a better job for the organization and the community. But these achievement medals are recognizing those people that are working behind the scenes to make us a better organization, that are working behind the scenes to give us that accreditation, which we're very proud of, who are working behind the scenes to make us a safer city by putting AEDs in our citywide buildings, by representing us at the 9/11 ceremony, the only 9/11 ceremony that has been done 15 continuous years throughout the United States. We are recognizing people that have written grants for us, that have supplied equipment that the city was not able to necessarily purchase all at one time. And so those are very impactful things to our organization. And lastly, not lastly, but we are also recognizing those line positions, those people that are out there on the streets working for us every single day and night, 24 hours a day. Those people that, a lot of them, that are doing things for us that go unrecognized. So we're just touching the tip of the iceberg here with the people that we're recognizing tonight. There are people out there working day and night for us, that do things day and night for us, that go unrecognized, that the normal person might think was heroic. And our people say, that wasn't heroic, that was just me doing my job. And those people need to be recognized as well. So I'd like a hand for all those men and women that aren't being recognized. I look forward to hearing the accounts of each one of these actions that took place, and that just makes me proud, and it should make all of you proud about those units that are out there working, the teams that are out there working that are well-trained, that are skilled professionals, that are out there making a difference and saving lives. There are people walking around this city every single day that are out there because of the efforts of the men and women that are in this audience and that are out there right now on the streets working for us. And we kind of wrap the program up today by talking about those new hires, the new blood that we're bringing into the organization every single year to replenish our ranks. And we recognize the fact that those are people that we look forward to a long and lasting career, as well as the retirees. And it's very, very important that we recognize the retirees. The retirees are near and dear to my heart, and I was one for about 4 months. And so I just got a small glimpse of what that's like, and I'm not going to be there for another number of years, but I do appreciate the fact that they gave us years and years of service. Hundreds of years of combined service to the city. Countless hours of out there working throughout the summer and the winter and all hours of the day and night, and spending their entire careers for the men and women of the city of Grand Rapids. So we really do give them our appreciation. Lastly, one other thing that we're not recognizing here tonight, but I would like to personally recognize, is the fact that the Cubs are going to be playing in the World Series. So I thank you. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to be serving here for the city of Grand Rapids and for all of you folks in the audience. And I am humbled by the fact that I am able to serve for such a fine organization. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Lehman. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Matt Keisch. I'm the Awards Committee Chair, and I'm honored to stand up here in front of you tonight. In my almost 15 years of coming to this award ceremony, I think we started doing Chief Burton was here, that was just around 15 years ago. This is the best turnout we've ever had, so you should be proud of yourself for showing up tonight. Thank you, guys. Also, as I look out here too, I see a lot of new young guys and gals, and I see some retirees here. I see 3 generations, the Zacco family down here in front of us. It's pretty neat to see. Thanks for coming, guys. Just this program tonight, it means a lot to me to keep this going. It kind of started to fizzle out a few years ago. I think we're back going strong again. I want to keep it going strong, so I really appreciate your support on this, guys, so thank you very much. And so with that, we'll get started right away into our promotions. You can follow along in your programs tonight. So starting up, we have Fire Prevention Inspector William Smith. He was promoted August of 2016. And I don't think Bill is able to make it here tonight. He told me he might not be able to make it, so that's why he's here. Next, we'll start with our fire training lieutenants. We have Lieutenant Steve Lohman and Lieutenant Justin Holmes. Next, we have Fire Captain Doug Carley. And we have our fire lieutenants, Bill Smith, which he's not here tonight. We have Lieutenant Mark Penny. When Mark's here tonight. Lieutenant Lou Houtman. And Lieutenant Steve McBride. Next, we have our equipment operators. We have equipment operator Jason Zamron. I think Jason's on duty today too also. Equipment operator Merle Jones. Merle called me today, he couldn't make it. Merle is also a part-time farmer and he was harvesting soybeans tonight, so we had to get him out of the field by the Kennewice dry, so he couldn't be here. Equipment operator Greg Miller. I believe Greg's on duty tonight also. Equipment operator Roy LeGrone. Equipment operator Jordan Heisma. And equipment operator Daniel Weatherwax. Next, we'll recognize our years of service with the GRFD. We'll start with 25 years of service. So all of you at 25 years of service, please come to the stage. We have Battalion Chief Bruce Veldkamp, Fire Marshal Eric Doctor, Lieutenant Jeff Martin, Equipment Operator Terrence Timmer, Equipment Operator David Parrish, Lieutenant Larry Hayden, Captain Mark Norman, and Equipment Operator Jim Stortable. Please join me in giving those guys a round of applause. Now we'll recognize those with 15 years of service. If you please come to the stage. Firefighter Casey Spielmaker. Lieutenant Denny Bray. 5 years. Please give the 15-year service up. First, we have firefighter Dan McGraw. Firefighter Brian Meyerholtz. Firefighter Greg Purser. Firefighter Curtis Walsh. Firefighter Brandon Mika. And firefighter Matt Hutter. Please join me in a round of applause. This year alone, the Grand Rapids Fire Department responded to 22,259 alarms. Most times you won't hear the stories. And that's because my fellow brothers and sisters believe they're simply doing their job. But right now, I'd like to shine a light on a few of those stories. First up, we have our Firefighter of the Year, which is Lieutenant Steve McBride. Will you please come to the stage, Steve? Steve was the 2016 Firefighter of the Year, and Steve recently became promoted lieutenant also. Steve is the 46th GRFD member to receive this prestigious firefighter award. Steve began his career at the Grand Rapids Fire Department on May 27, 2003. His ongoing dedication and attitude exemplifies the face of the Grand Rapids Fire Department. Steve has proven himself in the fire service as one of the department's EMS instructor coordinators. He's participated faithfully with the department and union activities to promote a positive environment for department members. He's also taken on the enormous task of monitoring and assisting department members with health benefit issues. On the job, Steve has used his knowledge and skills to revive multiple patients in cardiac arrest. He has made a significant impact on his community and often puts community welfare before himself. He enjoys helping others and teaching life-saving skills. On his days off, Steve gives back to the community by teaching individuals, groups, and business employees first aid, AED use, and CPR that could help save a life. So please join me in congratulating Lieutenant Steve McBride on Grand Rapids Firefighter of the Year.
Folks, I don't want to overlook the fact that a large part of why Lieutenant McBride received Firefighter of the Year had to do with his involvement in 4 different cardiac arrest resuscitations, 4 separate people in separate incidents throughout the last year prior to him receiving this award, along with the assistance of the other crews that were involved. but Lieutenant McBride was involved in that and actually helped to orchestrate those resuscitations. So that is, I don't want that to be overlooked.
Next, I'd like to have Lieutenant Harold Elmore up here for the medal accommodation. Harold and I go way back. We hired in almost a little over 17 years ago now, coming up on our 18-year anniversary. So I'm proud to be standing up here next to you, bud. Lieutenant Elmore has been with the GRFD for 17 years. He's been actively involved in many areas within the fire department and the community. He was active duty with the U.S. Army from 1990 to 93 and reserve duty from 1993 to 2001, which has instilled his work ethic and passion for helping people while serving the Grand Rapids Fire Department. Most recently, his talents have become indispensable with the West Michigan Fire Match Program. Fire Chief Al Connor started the Fire Match Program in 1986. The program is modeled after the National Fire Academy program for juvenile fire setting. Originally, it was a coalition of West Michigan area fire departments in conjunction with Blodgett Hospital. In the past 5 years, the program has undergone a reorganization, with the Grand Rapids Fire Department becoming the hub for calls of assistance from concerned parents, probation officers, and school officials. In 2012, a call went out for Grand Rapids firefighters willing to assist with children who have set fires or exhibited fire-setting behaviors. Lieutenant Elmore jumped at this chance to offer his skills and talents to this area. His ability to establish a rapport with all children and build trust within a short period of time is inspiring. Many children identified as fire setters, setting a fire, are in the state of denial. Lieutenant Elmore offers a safe environment which allows for communication to teach the family and community fire safety. Lieutenant Elmore can engage the most reluctant parents in gaining their attention during the interview process. Families have responded with positive outcomes and changes with their children's behavior of fire setting. Teaching fire safety to children and possibly preventing a fire in the future takes patience and a true sense of pride. Lieutenant Elmore has the passion and ability to change the lives of children in crisis. This is a letter that's recently written to Lieutenant Elmore and the Grand Rapids Fire Department. I was really a part of it here. As of August 20th, 2016, our child has completed the Fire Match program. My husband and I want to thank the Grand Rapids Fire Department and Lieutenant Elmore for allowing our son to participate in this program. Also, part of his probation was to seek counsel. Our family received more counsel from Lieutenant Elmore in the Fire Match program than we did with our actual counselor. They highly recommend this program, and their son is a changed 11-year-old boy now, for the positive. This entire situation was devastating, but has made the family stronger. So thank you, the Christensen family. So for Lieutenant Elmore's ongoing work with the Fire Match program and positively influencing of children and their families, he's awarded a medal of commendation from the Grand Rapids Fire Department. Chief Felix was a big part of that program also. She really got Lieutenant Elmore involved in that. He's kind of taking the ball and running with it from what I see. Thank you again, Harold. Next, we're going to move on to our achievement medals. This recognizes members for exceptional professional performance that brings credit to both the individual and the Grand Rapids Fire Department. So if I could have Captain Mark Fankhauser. During 2016, Captain Fankhauser made a successful A3 submission to the City Fiscal Department to purchase 35 AEDs for all city-owned buildings. He worked in conjunction with Craig Colson and Joe Gillespie of the Risk Management Office. His position and passion for the application of an AED as quickly as possible were evident once he envisioned the project. Working with Joe Gillespie on CPR classes City employees, as well as the visitors to our city buildings, will have access to an AED. With the implementation of CPR classes, the employees will have the tools to successfully handle a cardiac event of a coworker or anybody visiting our city in the building. Due to Captain Fankhauser's passion and commitment to excellence and a proactive approach to early emergency care, lives will be saved. He has shown that the Grand Rapids Fire Department is a leader within the city through his professionalism and the development of this project. It's my honor to award Captain Fankhauser with the Achievement Medal. Thank you. Our next achievement medal is for Lieutenant Jason Kelly. Jason's unable to be with us tonight due to the fact that he is a Cub Scout leader. And tonight they have their award ceremony, so he's in that. I think he's going to try to get here as soon as he can. So, but I'll read what we have here for him. For the past 6 years, Lieutenant Jason Kelly has provided support and organization for the Boy Scouts of America through a significant dedication to the annual Community Day of Remembrance, the Scout Salute at Gerald R. Ford Museum. Serving as liaison from our fire department, at the same time representing his pack, he has been instrumental by attending countless meetings and organizing this event. This event, held on September 11th each year, maintains an ability for scouts from across Michigan to stand in silent observance and salute our nation's flag. I have personally witnessed many police officers, firefighters, military members, community officials, and citizens alike take part, standing in unison with scouts they have never met to salute our flag. Lieutenant Kelly, an Eagle Scout himself, with his wife Sue and their 3 sons, have joined the Boy Scouts as a family. They have remained resolute in their dedication to this event. Because of Jason's dedication to his scouts, he is able to attend with us this evening. Tonight, the Scouts pack are holding a badge ceremony. My wife and I are lucky enough to have 2 of our sons in Jason's pack. Tonight, they'll both receive their first badge with Jason. So, appreciate everything Jason has done for us and continues to do for us. This 9/11 salute and all the scouts he works with. So, for this reason, he's awarded the Achievement Medal from the Grand Rapids Fire Department. Next up, Captain Craig Vanderwall, firefighter Ryan Sparks, and Lieutenant Dave Marchenda. In mid-2015, the Grand Rapids Fire Department applied for and received a $1.3 million assistance for firefighters grant to update our entire self-contained breathing apparatus program. In October 2015, the Grand Rapids Fire Department embarked on a project to test, evaluate, recommend, procure, equip, train, maintain data, and deploy over 300 self-contained breathing apparatus, bottles, rapid intervention equipment, air compressor, fill station, and other assorted equipment that goes along with this. Tremendous amount of time was spent on duty and off duty, invested by each of these members to ensure we receive the best equipment with the funds at hand, within the rules and scope of the federal grant and the city procurement process. Because of the skills, talents, and professional attitude of this team, the equipment will give our members a higher level of confidence, capability, and safety as they perform the duties necessary to keep protecting our city. So thank you guys. So for this, these guys received the Achievement Medal for the SCBA program. I get the accreditation core team members to start making their way up. In mid-2014, it was decided to fully commit our pursuit of accredited status to the Commission on Fire Accreditation International of the Center of Public Safety Excellence. Under the direction of the Strategic Planning Captain Brad Brown and Lieutenant Scott Gray, the core team led the department through the process of completing a fully thorough self-assessment, as well as producing a standards of coverage document to help us continue to provide the services we need to deliberate a planned and efficient manner. The accreditation process entails an exhaustive self-assessment of department operations, risk assessment of the community, establishing benchmarks and goals for performance, and external peer validation of the resulting documents. On March 16, 2016, this department's wide effort resulted in the designation of accredited agency as recognized by the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. The results of this hard work have verified that the Grand Rapids Fire Department is a nationally recognized service leader, is not afraid to dig deep, admit to needing improvement, and taking efficient action to improve those identified areas. In the end, the customer and all the members of the Grand Rapids Fire Department benefit from the safety and efficiencies that result. The core team members of this committee were Deputy Chief Tyke Felix, Battalion Chief Dan Stoddard, Training Chief Lee Finlayson, Battalion Chief Todd Vanderwall, Fire Marshal Eric Doctor, Lieutenant Dan Vanderhyde, Captain Kathy Thompson, Captain Strategic Planning Officer Brad Brown, Captain of EMS Mark Fankhauser, Lieutenant of Strategic Planning Scott Gray, Lieutenant John Zinn, and our RMS Specialist Jordan Van Overloop, and retired Fire Chief Laura Knapp, and retired Deputy Chief Kevin Selmeyer. Please give me a round, help me give those guys a round of applause. If the department members receiving a unit citation, please make a report. On October 27th of 2015, at 19:28 hours, the Grand Rapids Fire Department was dispatched to a man trapped under steel beams at a local industrial plant. Upon arrival, crews found a man pinned between two stacks of large steel I-beams. First arriving crews found a male pinned by his waist and hands and numerous 40-foot-long I-beams that had toppled over. Another I-beam hung just over his head, held in place by only one beam clamp, as the other beam clamp had slipped off. A call was put out for a TAC rescue team response. This brought all 3 rescues and a total of 23 personnel to the scene. Before we could assess the patient, crews had to secure adjacent piles of I-beams and secure the beam hanging over the patient. Once this was accomplished, crews set to work removing groups of loose I-beams that were threatening to shift on the patient. Only after all of the aforementioned tasks were taken care of, could our medical and rescue teams enter the pile and access the patient. Crews then set to work freeing the patient. Teams used pry bars to free his hand, while others prepared high-pressure airbags to lift and then horizontally push the beams off the patient. Just prior to our last movement of the beams, crews were sent to the pile to support the patient with webbing so that when pressure was released, the patient would not slip further down into the pile of beams. Once freed, the patient was lifted onto a backboard and passed out of the pile through a corridor of fire personnel. A week later, the patient was released from the hospital. Thanks to the teamwork, training, and dedication of those responding, the patient was safely extricated with no further injury. For this, these members are awarded the unit citation. These members are of Squad 3, Lieutenant Joe Donahoe, which Joe couldn't make it tonight. From Engine 6, we have Lieutenant Travis Gerd, Equipment Operator Gary Metcalf, and Firefighter Chris Molesky. From Engine 2, we have Lieutenant Keith Morrison, Equipment Operator Richard Morningstar, and Firefighter Stanley Burns, who just retired about 6 months ago. From Platform 2, we have Captain Doug Carley, EO Jeff Bejema, and Firefighter Mike Woodavine. Rescue 7, Lieutenant Rich Clark, Acting Equipment Operator Andy Nowak, Firefighter Brandon Mika, and Firefighter Toby Grantham. From Ladder 4, we have Acting Lieutenant Robert Rood, EO Jordan Heisma, and Firefighter Cody Heisma. From Rescue 10, Acting Lieutenant John Keeler, Acting EO Nick Fedewa, and Firefighter Chris Knapp. Then the Battalion Chiefs for Car 5 was Acting Battalion Chief David Norman, and Car 6, Battalion Chief Todd Vanderwall. Please give these gentlemen a round of applause. You guys are you guys just please remain in place on stage. We'll get your awards to you up here. Excuse me, Engine 2, I said Rich Morningstar. It was Rich Moore. Sorry about that. Next, I'd like to have firefighter Jason Zacco come up here, please. Jason's going to be awarded the Live Birth Award for a baby boy for a successful delivery in the field. Just before noon on July 31st, 2016, Engine 8 responded to a medical call for a woman in labor. Engine 8's crew that day was Lieutenant Brian Brewer, Acting Equipment Operator Tim Croft, and firefighter Jason Zacco. Upon arrival, Engine 8's crew quickly realized that birth was imminent as their patient's waterhead broke and contractions were about 2 minutes apart. As soon as ALS arrived on scene, Engine 8 gave them an update and wasted no time loading the patient into the ambulance. Firefighter Zacco rode into the hospital with the ambulance and continued to monitor the patient's vitals and contractions. As the medic from AMR was getting the IV ready, firefighter Zacco reported that the contractions were about 1 minute apart. The ambulance approached the Wealthy and Jefferson turnabout on the way to St. Mary's Hospital, where firefighter Zacco delivered the baby, a healthy baby boy, with the assistance of the AMR medic. For his actions in the field, firefighter Zacco was awarded the Live Birth Award of a baby boy. Next up, we're going to do our Medical Service Awards. EMS Captain Mark Fankhauser will read those off.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Grand Rapids Fire Department Medical Service Award recognizes those submitted members who have provided pre-hospital emergency care that has significantly supported a positive outcome for the patient. These patients initially presented in either a compromised respiratory state or in cardiac arrest. Our members' attention and dedication to provide a professional standard of emergency care further exemplifies the commitment of the Grand Rapids Fire Department to provide the highest level of service possible. It is with honor that we acknowledge the following members of the Grand Rapids Fire Department for their actions that have saved the life of another human being. On September 6, 2015, Engine 2 was dispatched for a Med 1, difficulty breathing. Upon arrival, the patient was in sudden cardiac arrest. Their crew began aggressive pit crew style CPR and deployed the AED, which delivered 2 shocks. The patient regained a spontaneous circulation. Engine 2 was assisted by Platform 2 and Car 5. The patient was transported to the hospital. Thanks to the combined efforts of all involved, the patient was able to recover and was released from the hospital. Engine 2's crew that day was Lieutenant Paul Mason, Equipment Operator Kurt Honder, Firefighter Bill Revelle. Platform 2 crew was Lieutenant Colin Meniga, Equipment Operator Phil Hunderman, and Firefighter Steve Adamczyk. Car 5 that day was Battalion Chief Daniel Stoddard. On September 30th, 2015, Rescue Engine 10 was dispatched for a Med 1, a fall victim. Upon arrival, the crew found a conscious patient who had fallen and was experiencing discomfort in their arms and in their chest. Within a couple of minutes, the patient went into cardiac arrest. Quick recognition and action to begin CPR and apply the AED resulted in a return of spontaneous circulation. Thanks to the combined efforts, the patient was able to recover and was released from the hospital. Engine 10's crew was Lieutenant Rick Velkamp, EO Steve Frisbee, and Firefighter Ryan Sparks. On October 1st, 2015, Ladder 1 was dispatched for a Med 1 cardiac arrest. Upon arrival, the staff had already begun CPR. Ladder 1's crew assisted the staff and then continued with aggressive pit crew style CPR. The crew continued to assist the CPR as the patient was transported to the emergency department. The patient had a return of spontaneous circulation upon arrival to the emergency department. Thanks to those combined efforts, the patient was able to recover and was released from the hospital. Ladder 1's crew was Lieutenant Mike Waldron, Acting Equipment Operator Joel McDonald, and Firefighter Jonathan Valente. On January 17, 2016, Engine 8, Squad 3, and Car 6 were dispatched for a Med 1 cardiac arrest. Upon arrival, the crews found the patient with family performing CPR. This was a witnessed arrest. Pit crew style CPR was conducted and the patient received 4 shocks, which resulted in a return of spontaneous circulation. Thanks to those combined efforts, the patient was able to recover and was released from the hospital. Those crew members were Engine 8, Acting Lieutenant Joel Boyer, Acting Equipment Operator Tim Crott, Firefighter Mark Matthews. Squad 3 crew was Acting Lieutenant Craig Lewis, Acting Equipment Operator Dan Ryan. And Car 6 was Acting Battalion Chief Colin Kelly. On March 31st, 2016, Engine 8 was dispatched for a Med 1 seizure. While en route, dispatch upgraded this incident to an echo response, adding additional units to the alarm. The patient was found in cardiac arrest. The crew members began aggressive pit crew style CPR and deployed the AED, which shocked the patient twice. The patient had a return of spontaneous circulation and was transported to the emergency department. Thanks to the combined efforts, the patient was able to recover and was released from the hospital. Engine 8 crew that day was Lieutenant John Zinn, EO Amber Paskowski, and Firefighter Tim Crott. Squad 3's crew was Lieutenant Derek Olson and Acting Equipment Operator Daniel Ryan. On July 1st, 2016, Rescue Engine 5, Engine 8, was dispatched for a Med 1 cardiac arrest. The patient had arrested in front of family who had started CPR and called 911. Grand Rapids Police Department responded to assist Grand Rapids Fire Department personnel with aggressive pit crew style CPR. The AED was applied and no shocks were advised. ALS administered cardiac arrest medication in conjunction with the pit crew style CPR, which ultimately resulted in a return of spontaneous circulation. Thanks to those combined efforts, the patient was able to recover and was released from the hospital. Rescue Engine 5's crew was Lieutenant Bronson Barnes, Acting Equipment Operator James Cooper, Firefighter Nate Mulder, Firefighter Matthew Stevens. Engine 8 crew, Lieutenant Dan DeBlay, Equipment Operator Gary Metcalf, and Firefighter Brian Gwynn. Grand Rapids Police Officer Adam Ikes. On August 20th, 2016, Engine 9 was dispatched for a Med 2 possible seizure. The incident was upgraded to an echo response. Rescue Engine 5 was added to the alarm. Upon arrival, the crew found the patient in cardiac distress. Aggressive pit crew style CPR was performed. The patient would regain pulses and then lose them. Aggressive pit crew style CPR was resumed and maintained. The patient had a return of spontaneous circulation and it was maintained. The patient was transported to the emergency department with Rescue 5 personnel assisting. Thanks to those combined efforts, the patient was able to recover and was released from the hospital. Engine 9's crew was Acting Lieutenant Joel Boyer, Equipment Operator Greg Wimple, and Firefighter Robert Long. Rescue Engine 5 crew was Acting Lieutenant Travis Milner, Acting Equipment Operator Matthew Hutter, Firefighter Xavier Greenfield, and Firefighter Nicholas Velkamp. Let it be said of all of us that we choose to inspire someone each day to a greater degree of effort, creativity, or dedication. These events and their outcomes showcase the dedication of the Grand Rapids Fire Department personnel who strive to provide the highest level of service to our community through an ongoing commitment to excellence. If those members can please rise and come up here and receive your award.
I'd just like to say too, tonight's the first time we've ever given an award out to anybody besides a non-uniformed Graphics Fire Department member. And so Officer Adams, I guess he's the first one to ever receive that. And as a committee, and talking with the crews on scene that night, we decided it was the right thing to do. These guys are still our brothers and sisters in blue. We work alongside with each and every day. We wanted to include him because he was doing really good CPR, and he's part of our family. So thank you, officer. Next, I have another medical service award. It's kind of a special one. It's an off-duty one. And it involves equipment operator Amber Paskowski again. And tonight, the lady she saved, the survivor, Jean Wolverton, is here also. So on the evening of April 12, 2016, while visiting the Fruitport Eagles Post 3666, a 67-year-old patron suffered a medical emergency inside the Eagles Post. Slumping over in her seat without warning, E.O. Paskowski approached the patron's friends and family and introduced herself as a Graphics Fire Department member and medical first responder. She began a self-assessment of the patient, realizing immediately that the patient was in cardiac arrest. E.O. Paskowski moved the patient to the floor and immediately started CPR. Upon arrival of the Fruitport Fire Department, E.O. Paskowski assisted in the setup of the Fruitport Fire Department's medical equipment, which included the oxygen, airways, and an AED. The AED was applied and activated, and a shock was delivered, returning a heartbeat to the patient, who later was transported by ambulance, alert and oriented, to the hospital, eventually walking out of the healthcare facility several days later. For Amber's action, she's awarded the Medical Service Award for off-duty cardiac safety. Next, I'd like to introduce our new firefighters for 2016. So you'd please come to the stage when I call your name. The Grand Rapids Fire Department would like to welcome our new hires in 2016. These individuals will continue to serve our city with honor and dignity and continue our professionalism and long-standing tradition into the future. Firefighter Justin Emery, Firefighter Mark Klassen, Firefighter Tom Felix, Firefighter Joel Borst, Firefighter Matthew Stevens, Firefighter Gary Garza, Firefighter Nick Veldkamp, Firefighter Robert Long, Firefighter Eric Veldkamp, Firefighter Alex Van Putten, Firefighter Tim Welch, Firefighter Benjamin Ingersoll. I look forward to working beside you guys, and thank you for becoming part of our team. Next, I'd like to acknowledge our 2016 retired firefighters. And if you'd please approach the stage. The equipment operator Dennis Hatt, and Lieutenant David Nisley, which is no longer with us. As most of you are aware, he perished in a tragic boat fire. So maybe we could please give him a moment of silence. Thank you. Equipment operator Jeff Maduro, Lieutenant Scott Duvall. Scott right now is on a year-long trip. He has a boat, and since he just retired, he's kind of doing the big cruise halfway around the world, I think it is. So, we have Captain Tim Zacko, Firefighter Dan Overbeek, Firefighter Stanley Burns, EO Jeffrey Steer, Fire Chief Laura Knapp, and I know she's out of state right now, and Deputy Chief Kevin Selmeyer, and I know he's teaching a class down in Indiana right now. I try to touch base with everybody, so thank you, Captain Tim Zacko. Chaplain Bill Vanderven, will now give the benediction.
Please rise. Receive this parting prayer of benediction. Go now in peace, never be afraid. God will go with you each hour of every day. Go now in faith, steadfast, strong and true. Know He will guide you in all that you do. Go now in love and show you believe. Reach out to others so all the world can see. God will be there and watching from above. And may you go in peace, knowing that His unfailing love will rest upon you. Amen.
And once again, I'd like to thank, you may be seated. Just give it wrap it up here real quick. I'd just like to thank my awards committee real quick again. They put a lot of hard work and time into this. Especially to acknowledge John Keeler. I know John kind of gets our program together, certificates, and I know it's a hard job because I used to do it about 10 years ago, and it's a thankless job, and thank you, John, for doing this. You put a lot of time into this. I also would just like to acknowledge all of your families for coming tonight. It's a special event for them also. It means a lot to all of us for you to come tonight. I know some of you drove from distances away, so thank you for coming tonight, supporting your loved ones, your family members. Really appreciate it. And I don't think my wife made it yet, but I gotta thank her. She's been my rock. She kind of proofreads everything for me, keeps me in line, and she allows me to do this stuff. We have 3 young boys, so she's always there, taking the boys, doing stuff. I have people all the time saying, "Matt, how do you do all this stuff? How do you do honor guard? How do you do this?" Well, it's because of my wife. She allows me to do this. She picks up the slack so I can do this stuff for our department. And I love doing it. I mean, my family's number one, but this department is right up there. And I really love this department. I love working with all of you. It's an honor. And I look forward to 15 more years of working with you guys. So really appreciate it. And also, before you leave tonight, get pictures. Come up here and get pictures if you'd like. And we have some refreshments in back. We have some cider, donuts. So help yourself. And thank you once again for coming. This is a great turnout. And thank you again. I think the chief would like to say something else here also. Thank you.
I just wanted to acknowledge Matt. He's one of those people that not only did he have a huge hand in putting this together, but he's one of those people within the organization that's constantly stepping up to the plate and is always out there doing for the organization. And so I just want to recognize him for that. I also want to recognize him for the fact that he was announcing and did not receive his own award, so I'd like to do that for him. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your evening, and thank you for attending.
Also, for those of you that didn't receive your medical service certificate, Jeff Vanderwall will have them in the back. So you can pick your certificate up in the back. Thank you.